everyone, good afternoon and welcome back to Thorough Newspaper Analysis. Today is 10th of June and this entire video series is brought to you by LawSikho. So now let's head to the agenda for today. For the editorial segment, we've taken up an important article which is titled as Chadha House Case, Who is Allotted What and How in Lutyen, Delhi. See, recently the bungalow that was allotted to AAP MP Raghav Chadha, it was cancelled by the Rajya Sabha Secretariat. So we understand in this article as to what is the reason for this cancellation, and we also have a general understanding of how different type of accommodations are allotted to the different members of the parliament in Lutyen, Delhi. We also have a look at what the court has said so far in this entire matter. The second segment for today's discussion is the news update segment. And thirdly, we talk about the important legal developments of the day. So with this, let's dive into the TNA. And the first point of discussion would be this article. See, Raghav Chadha, who is a first-time Rajya Sabha MP, hailing from AAP political party and also one of the youngest parliamentarians that we have as of this moment, he has made it to the news headlines again, and this time it is because of Rajniti, which I believe gives us all the more reasons to be following this update more diligently. See, he was given a certain category of accommodation, a certain type of bungalows, by virtue of becoming an MP of the Rajya Sabha. And of late, earlier this year, in March of this year, his accommodation was cancelled by the Rajya Sabha Secretariat. As a result, aggrieved, he approached a concerned court in Delhi. A Delhi court is now ordered a stay on the execution of this order of the Rajya Sabha Secretariat until the further hearing of the matter. The matter is now posted for a hearing on 10th of July. So now let's understand as to what are the facts of this case, and for this very purpose we refer to a timeline. So Raghav Chadha, he became an MP in March of 2022, and post becoming an MP, he got allotted this category of accommodation, which is a type 6 category of accommodation in Lutyen, Delhi. However, a few months later, in the month of August last year, he requested the chairperson or chairman of Rajya Sabha, who is also the Vice President of India, Jagdeep Dhankad, for upgrading his accommodation to a category 7 accommodation. His request was accepted, and in the month of September, his allotment of bungalow it was upgraded to from a category 6 to a category 7 accommodation. So let's understand as to what is the issue here. See, different politicians, depending on what stage they are in their political career, as in how seasoned are they, what sort of post have they held in the past, depending on their experience, they are allotted different categories of accommodation. So, generally, a first-time MP is entitled to a category 5 accommodation, while those MPs who have held the position of being a member of legislative assembly or an MLA in the past, a former MLA is entitled to a category 6 accommodation, and more experienced politicians are then allotted category 7 and category 8 accommodations. So Raghav Chadha, he was earlier given this category of accommodation. Why? Because before becoming an MP, Rajya Sabha MP, he held a first term in Delhi Assembly. So therefore, he got the status of a former MLA. But because his accommodation was later upgraded to a category 7, so therefore the secretariat cancelled his allotment. And this is what the secretariat said. The reason the allotment was cancelled is that Raghav Chadha, he is not entitled to a category 7 bungalow, and this was informed to him in the cancellation notice itself. Now, before the court, the counsel who was representing the petitioner Chadha, he argued that the cancellation of his accommodation it was done without citing any reasons and justification, and also that his client was fearing dispossession from his accommodation. So, on this, the court said that it agreed with the argument that a person cannot be dispossessed except by following the due course of law, and therefore the court ordered the Rajya Sabha Secretariat not to dispossess Chadha with until the next hearing. So here I have a question. When I say no one can be dispossessed without following the due course of law, which section of the specific relief act can you relate it to? Please put down your answers in the comment section. So now let's understand as to what are the different types of accommodations that are usually given to different politicians. See, spread across the capital's Lutyen's bungalow zone, there are various types of accommodations for constitutional post bearers, union ministers, judges, defense chiefs, MPs, and bureaucrats. As far as MPs are concerned, the accommodations they are categorized from type 1 to type 8, which is type 8 being the most prestigious category. So there are a total of 520 type 7 and type 8 bungalows in Delhi. The properties they are placed in pools of Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, Supreme Court, and General. But all of these they are maintained by a single agency, which is the Central Public Works Department. Now let's understand as to how are public servants and officials allotted accommodations. So for that, for the public servants and central government employees, the Directorate of Estates in the Union Housing and Urban Affairs Ministry, it allots accommodation to union ministers, to eligible central government officers, and also to heads of national commissions. While as far as the MPs they're concerned, so for that we have the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha secretariats. They're responsible for allotting homes to their MPs. Each of the two houses of the parliament, the Rajya Sabha and the Lok Sabha, they have the house committee which is comprising of MPs, which approves the allotment and the cancellation of the allotment. So approved. The Supreme Court, it has a separate pool of houses for judges, and if if we have an understanding of the different categories of the accommodation, so as we've already discussed, a category 5 goes to first time MPs, and as far as a category 6 accommodation is concerned, it goes to those MPs who have also been former MLAs and MPs who are former Minister of State, Deputy Speaker of Lok Sabha, Deputy Chairman of Rajya Sabha, nominated members, floor leaders of their parties, and members who have completed at least one term in the parliament. While category 7 bungalows, the category to which Raghav Chadha was upgraded to in the month of September last year, this category is allotted or meant for MPs who are former union cabinet ministers, former chief ministers, governors, and speakers of Lok Sabha. And category 8, they are allotted to all those members in the previous category, plus former chief election commissioners. Now, a question might arise in your mind because seeing all of this information, which we've discussed so far, it seems like the allotment to category 7 from 6 to 7, it was wrong in law. However, this is not wrong in law. Why? Because as per a handbook that is released for the Rajya Sabha members, there is a clause which says that exception can be given from case to case basis. Exception can be made. So the Rajya Sabha members handbook, it lays down the procedure and the eligibility criteria for accommodation, and it says that the house committee chairperson is authorized to make exceptions on a case by case basis. So Chadda, he claimed that the allotment, it was approved by the Rajya Sabha chairman himself, and that the Rajya Sabha secretariat did not give him an explanation as to why his allotment has been cancelled. And the latter claims, these claims, they have been rebutted by the Rajya Sabha secretariat, who said that the reason were explicitly mentioned in the cancellation order. So while the Rajya Sabha handbook, it says that first time MPs are entitled to a category 5 bungalow or flat, a single flat, the MPs who are former MLAs, they are entitled to a type 6 categories. The handbook also gives the House Committee chairman the authority to make exceptions. So this is going to be an interesting update to see as to what the court has to say when the hearing gets concluded on 10th of July. And now we proceed to the national news category for today. India's highest herbal garden, it is set up in Phobrang Village in Leh, Ladakh. In a significant development, India's highest herbal garden, it has been set up in Phobrang Village in Leh, Ladakh. This is at an altitude of 15,000 feet above the sea level. The garden, it is located in the middle of barren mountains, and prior to this, the record, it was held by a herbal garden, which is located at Badrinath in Uttarakhand. This garden, it is a collaboration between Go Green, Go Organic and the local authorities of the region. Chandrayaan 3, it is intended to be launched between July 12 to 19th. Chandrayaan 3, it is an ISRO mission with the primary objective of putting a lander and rover in the highlands near the south pole of the moon in August 2023 timeframe and demonstrating end-to-end landing and roving capabilities. The lander rover, it will be similar to the Vikram rover on Chandrayaan 2, with improvements to help the lander to ensure a safe landing. GalaxEye, it is to launch world's first multi-sensor Earth observation satellite. GalaxEye, it will construct the world's first multi-sensor Earth observation satellite. This is with its support of a visible spectrum camera offering synchronized images that can take several pictures at the same time. The startup intends to launch its first satellite called Drishti mission next year. The data fusion technology, which is produced in-house, this will bring unparalleled insights and data from space. Next update is from the state of Haryana. The Chief Minister of the state, he has launched Integrated Water Resources Action Plan. Haryana Chief Minister Manohar Khattar on Friday said that the Integrated Water Resources Action Plan for the year 2023 to 2025, it aims at reducing the state's water deficit by a massive 49.7% in a period of 2 years. The aim is to save a total of 22% water in the first phase, while the aim for the second phase is 27.7%. Khattar, who launched the scheme, said that Haryana is experiencing a water deficit of about 14 billion cubic meter annually, with the total water demand across all sectors going up to nearly 34.96 billion cubic meter a year. Gitanjali Aiyar, one of India's first English female news presenters on Doordarshan, she has passed away in her mid 70s. She joined Doordarshan in the year 1971 and has been adjudged as the best anchor 4 times. She also won the coveted Indira Gandhi Priyadarshini Award for Outstanding Women in the year 1989, and she was also a diploma holder from the National School of Drama. Kerala's first Ashoka Chakra winner, Havildar Alby de Cruz, he has passed away. Havildar Alby de Cruz, the first person from Kerala to receive the Ashok Chakra, he has passed away at his residence in Thiruvananthapuram on Tuesday at the age of 87. And this has brought us to the international category for today. World warming at record 0.2 degrees Celsius per decade. Record high greenhouse gas emissions and diminishing air pollution, they've caused an unparalleled acceleration in global warming. From the period of 2013 to 2022, human induced warming, it has increased at an unprecedented rate of 0.2 degrees Celsius per decade. Average annual emissions over the same period, it has also hit an all-time high of 54 billion tons of CO2, which is carbon dioxide, or its equivalent in other gases, about 1700 tons per second. Paterson Joseph, he has won a coveted award in the film category for the year 2023. If anyone's familiar with the life which is worthy of a book, it's that of Charles Ignatius Sancho, the acclaimed writer and composer. He was born as a slave and then he crossed the Atlantic in 1729, where both of his parents died. He arrived in London, where he suffered hardships and danger. He found love, met the king, and became the first black person to vote in Britain. Now, a movie which is retelling of his life story by the actor Paterson Joseph, it has won the prestigious Royal Society of Literature's award, which is called Christopher Bland Prize, which is awarded to a debut writer who has published their first book over the age of 50. And this has brought us to the last category, which is the category of legal news update. First update coming from the Honorable Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has set aside an Orissa High Court order that prevented the Bar Council of India imposing the condition that only graduates of recognized law college can enroll as an advocate. Relying on the recent Constitution Bench judgment, a bench of Justices Vikram Nath and Sanjay Kumar held that the rules framed by the BCI for enrollment as an advocate, they cannot be viewed as invalid. The name of this particular matter is Bar Council of India versus Rabi Sahu and another. Next update is from Meghalaya High Court. The Meghalaya High Court has recently ruled that the absence of witnesses in sexual assault cases Under the POCSO Act, they cannot be used as a justification to exonerate the accused in such cases if the testimony of the survivor is reliable. The name of this particular matter is Arjun Das versus State of Meghalaya. And this has brought us to an end for the TNA. In case you want to get access to the free study materials that we curate or the TNA slides that have been used in this video, I would highly encourage all of you to please join our Telegram channel. And for the very same purpose, you may scan the barcode here or click on the link which is provided in the description. These are the 2 points of contacts in case you want to get in touch with LawSikho. Please don't forget to answer the question in the comment section, and thank you for being with us.